What's going on, people? Man, it's your man JB with you once again on the Mind Your Business podcast. And today, another special guest. We're going to have a really good conversation. But look, over the weekend, we put this on our Mind Your Business page and also on our IG. Got a chance to team up with Bonfire, and we did some hoodies. I ain't gonna say they this something special. I think I'm not no designer or whatever, but we did some hoodies, t-shirts, and things like that. Now I'm going. This, I'm still playing with the platform. I'm still learning as I go. So if I mess up, don't laugh. I don't want to hear anything that you had to say. Just ride with me here. So let's see if this works. Yeah, we messing up already. Here we go. Yep, I figured that. Let me see. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. So if you go to Bonfire, I think it's bonfire.com, store, merch. Yeah, you see it right there. See the hoodies? See those? Yeah. So we just did those over the weekend, and we got a couple different colors. You see what it is: business owners, creatives, influencers, entrepreneurs. We even got the IG down there. So we got different colors, ladies. We got the colors. My wife said you got to do pink, so we did some pink. We got green. I think the green is pretty dope. Got the royal blue, and then we also have them in crew necks. I think is what they call them. The crew neck sweatshirts. Let's see here. Yeah, got the all black with the white. What other colors we got? Got the green. So yeah, so you guys visit it. Go ahead, get them. It's getting cold outside, especially for those of you guys that tune in faithfully. That really what we do, and you guys are getting value from it and things of that nature. Support it, man. Support what we're doing. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys tune in faithfully, but hopefully we're giving you some value. We're giving you free game. You're getting information that's good for you, your business, and what you plan on doing in the future. And so once again, it's Bonfire. You see the site. We'll go back to it at the end of the show, so that way, just kind of support what we're doing. Not only are you supporting what we're doing, but at the same time, it's part of the community, and you're being part of the community. So appreciate you guys. In the meantime, once again, I'm JB Harrison. If you guys, you may not know, just a regular guy that is just trying to do it, just trying to offer free information for those of you that are thinking about getting into want to start your own business. You got ideas and things. I get it. But so we do is we have these conversations with individuals that are doing it. And so right now, I'm gonna bring him up. He is here. I'm still playing with this platform, so y'all forgive me as oh yeah, there we go. Josh, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man. Just trying to do what I can, man. Just trying to assist these entrepreneurs, these business owners, and I figure, hey, what's a better way to do it than to get somebody on who's probably been shutting down the graphic design, print, whatever for the past 30, 40 years here in our
Man,
area.
you're making me sound old.
Listen, man.
16 years, 16,
Hey,
16.
man. Well, look, man. Let's talk, man. First and foremost, appreciate you for just coming to hang out. I know the life
Yeah,
of an
I appreciate
entrepreneur.
you having me.
Oh man, there ain't nothing, man. The life of an entrepreneur is it's busy. Time is probably the one thing that we don't have enough of, and it's probably the most valuable thing that we do have. So just want to say thanks, man, and let's talk. Let's talk.
What's up?
What is it that you do? And just give some information about what you do and who you are.
All right, so entrepreneur that doesn't even care about printing. How about that? Sounds funny, right? But I literally, that's what it is. In the beginning, it was all about print. But I kind of realized like businesses need help. They don't understand their own business, right? So now I'm the printer who cares about the success of businesses over printing. So when you come to me, I'm helping you figure out if you're spending your money the right way, right? Because anybody can spend money with me, but what you're buying from me, is it making a return for you?
Mm.
The only way we know is if we're actually hitting your target audience. In most cases, most people don't even know who their target audience is, right? They're like everybody. Well, that's not the case because I can't talk to a male the same way I talk to a female, and I can't talk to a 18-year-old the same way I talk to a 40-year-old, right?
Mm.
So we have to be able to narrow it down and understand who our product actually talks to. When we can understand that, now we're making money and
Mm.
not wasting money trying to figure it out when it comes to marketing. So now I'm the guy when you come, you typically are coming to spend money with me, but then you leave the office having homework.
Well, let me ask you this: How? So, have you always had that mindset, or was that a maturity process?
Nah, in the beginning, it was I had to take care of my family,
Hmm.
right? So get out the Navy, couldn't get a job doing what I was doing. I was an IT in the Navy. You only have Navy experience, so it didn't translate over because I didn't have college, only Navy. So I ended up having to work at Kinko's, learn the print game, work for another company back in the day called Marshall Media.
Hmm.
And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to start my own thing. So I started my own, never looked back since. That was 16 years ago. So in the beginning was, yeah, let me hustle, let me, make money, take care of my family. But it was always still a passion of helping people, right? So I would say over the last 12 years, 11 years, it's shifted. It
Mm.
was like, you know what? This isn't about money no more. This is more about I want to see people succeed just like I did. I didn't
Mm.
have no one to show me the ropes. I had to learn it on my own. So I've learned the hard way. There's things that we just have to figure out on our own. I'm self-taught graphic designer. I'm self-taught in everything. Didn't go to school for any of this stuff. So, I realized people are coming to my office, spending money,
Mm.
but then they're always complaining that they're not making money.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, let's figure out why. So then I jumped into branding, right? Most people, most businesses skip this step, and it's the most important step in business. The branding side of things, you shouldn't even have your name until you figure out who you're targeting. Most people rather have their names first and then build off of that. But in reality, your name is just a small piece of the whole big pie, right? Your name should talk to the person who you're trying to sell your product to. Most people don't understand that. They're just like, oh, this name's cool. This is what I'm gonna rock with, and that's it. But you know, I could probably say the same thing with my name, Innovative Twist. In the beginning, it was just I found words that I liked, put them together. .com was available, and that was it. But over time, I built what it is today. Like I am the king of print out here. I've been doing it 16 years. You know, Nobody knows everybody I print for, but the biggest person I print for is TikTok. Do you think people know that? No, because I don't put it out there like that, right? So I print for TikTok, Hooters, Norfolk State, Hampton University, like all these different things. But it came down to understanding what I really wanted to do. I don't chase money anymore, right? It chases me because I'm doing it for a passion. If I can help you grow, then I grow. If no one's helping you, you're not going to grow, right? So everything that I learned the hard way, I teach it to others because I learned the hard way. When we had our flood at our office, we didn't know what to do. Our insurance didn't cover it. Why? Because we didn't have backup insurance. How am I supposed to know that? No one ever told me that, right?
Backup insurance.
But yeah, right. Even in your house, sewage backup insurance, right? No one ever tells you that. But it came to the point where we just lost $10,000 worth of stuff, right? And you're like, well, when you called them, it was like, I need business insurance. You would assume that they give you everything that you need
Right.
and let me choose, nah, that's too much. Can we take something out? But they didn't do that. So then we learned the hard way. Losing 10 grand worth of stuff was like, oh, so now I tell everybody. And then I call my house. I'm like, hey, are we covered? They're like, yeah, you're covered up to like 100,000.
Hmm.
But for like an extra $20, we can cover the whole value of your house.
Right. Right. Right.
Give me the whole value of my house, you know?
You said something as far as no one really. You kind of learned it on your own. You didn't really
Mm-hmm.
have anyone to kind of, for the lack of a better, to hold your hand, to kind of walk you
Correct.
through the process. If you Do you think if you had someone to walk you through the process, do you think it would have made it easier for you? Um, or because this is what I found out.
It,
I found out that even with some of the relationships that I have with people that are trying to do whatever, what I found out is sometimes it's not necessarily having someone there that's going to assist you. But sometimes it's you getting out of your own way and actually
That's
listening
what
to the person that you want to get help from.
they keep you accountable, right? Because we all need to be accountable. There's times you want to give up. There's times. So I would say this. I don't think that I needed someone to hold my hand because I believe I was supposed to go through all these situations,
Mhm.
right? In life in general, not just business, but in life, everything that we go through, whether it's personal or business,
Mhm.
is meant for us to preach and teach to others,
Right.
right? So it doesn't matter how bad the situation was. There's someone who needs to hear how you got out of it. That's the only way they're going to be able to get out of it. So yeah, I could have had someone hold my hand and walk me through it, but then I would have skipped all these lessons that I needed to learn. Then eventually down the road, it would have hit me a lot harder than it did back then. If that makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, you said, and you kind of you ran over it real quick. TikTok, Hooters, Hampton University. Was that all based on your track record? Was it based on relationship? Was it based on um, just in seeing and knowing your work, or what? Like, you know, and
All
for
the above,
got it.
right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. We did something different. We created we shifted every business from doing corporate looking plain
Mhm.
Jane stuff
Mhm.
to giving it that urban feel on it, right? And that's what changed the game, right? But what we also did was we went in there, we were confident in what we provide. I know what I can do. So I'll go to a place and I'll be like, oh man, I don't like that design. I'll take it back to the shop, redesign something up, print out like 1,000 of them and be like, here, I'll go back. Here's your new set of business cards. Let me know when you need more. And I walk out. But before I walk out, they're like, yo, let me get 1,000 more,
Right. Right.
right? So it costs money to play. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I knew what I could do and I knew I could enhance what they already had because it wasn't working for them.
Mm-hmm.
You had to spend money to make money, right? I can tell if you invest in your business by your graphics, right? Stop being cheap and stop doing it yourself. It's not
Mm-hmm.
what you're good at, but you want to save money. Well, you're going to continue to get cheap customers because your product that you're putting out looks cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You have to invest in those type of things. Invest in what you're not good at. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. Use your strengths, but when you're weak, find somebody that's strong there.
Yeah. In the
And,
beginning, we obviously know that's what you try to do,
mhm.
but you have to learn to be able to shift out of that. In the beginning, yes, okay, I got to save money. I don't have a lot. This is what
Right.
I'm going to do. But you can't stay there. And
Mhm.
most people stay there.
And that's for me, even with me, and I probably drive my wife crazy. I know I do because I'm always looking at ways to improve. Always, and I don't, almost, and for me, it's almost to a fault. We were talking the other day, and she even said, she's like, "Yo, sometimes, man, you just self sabotage yourself,"
It's
and it's
true.
be and it's because you know certain things I'm probably a perfectionist, uh, and sometimes when you're at that place where you're trying to be a perfectionist or whatever, it'll you're never satisfied.
Right.
And I guess you've got to find that balance between one wanting to be better and do better in comparison to just not being satisfied at all.
So what you got to do is do it now and stop waiting until it's perfect,
Right,
right?
right, right.
Because there's never a perfect time. There's never the time where it's right.
Hmm.
There's always going to be something that you can find that you can fix to make it better. The problem is you're taking too long to get it out there, right?
Hmm.
When someone is waiting for you right now. So stop waiting and do whatever it is right now. Bro, I'm just going through this, right? I had a burnout a couple of weeks ago. I made a post. I'm like, yo, I'm tired. I'm just tired. And people are like, hire people. It's not the tired I am. The tired is I've been grinding 16 years to build who I am today. And I'm just tired, right? Because it takes a lot. Like we work crazy hours. So finally, me and my wife were like, yo, let's go away. It was her birthday. We left for a whole week. I've never closed my office, ever. When I lost my mom at 21 and I'm 39, I was still working at the funeral, texting back customers. But this time I was like, you know what? I can't. I gotta unplug, right? no phone, no internet. I ain't had to check emails. I didn't answer no customer calls. I did an automatic response, was like, yo, I'm unplugging. I'll
Mm.
see you when you get back if you still need me. All my customers were appreciative. But the biggest thing that I took away was that's what I needed to reset and refocus.
Mm.
Because now I came back, I'm like, all right, that conference I'm about to do, I'm planning that
Right.
now.
Right.
The kids and biz stuff I'm about to launch, we're getting that done now.
Mm.
It was just I never had time to just stop.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it's like to not print or not answer a customer's email because they're in the last minute and they're like, yo, Josh, I got a funeral tomorrow. I need these programs. Josh, I need this. I need that. I'm that man. I'm the
Mm.
one that's always like, yes, yes, I got you.
Mm.
Whatever you need, I'm gonna make it happen. Oh, you need that tomorrow? All right, I'm not open the weekends, but I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna knock it out, and then you can pick it up, right? Because I know how bad they need it. But it got to the point where it was killing me
I'm
though.
about to say. Right. Yeah.
Blood pressure high. Like my wife's like, bro, you gotta chill. Like got back, my blood pressure's low, and I feel like I used to when I first started. I'm
Mm.
rejuvenated. I'm like so excited to get these new things I'm about to launch out there because I know people are waiting on me. Just like I just said, there's never a perfect time.
Right.
My time is now. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm launching. I'm getting it. Listen, this conference I had planned is gonna be crazy. This kids and biz thing that I'm launching is even more crazier because we're changing the world with the things that I'm about to put out there. I've been in this game way too long to see what my customers are missing. What
Mm.
you're doing is what they need. I do the exact same thing you're doing, just in a different way. They
Mm.
need to hear stories, right? There's power in the stories. The stories, you need to know my story from A to Z to
Indeed.
understand how I got to where I am today. Yes,
Right.
I'm very
Right.
successful. Yes. But was it easy? No, not at all. It's a lonely place. This is a place where you get depressed, where you want to quit.
Mm.
You just had to have the motivation and you have to have a significant other that's going to push you. My
Right.
wife is my better half.
Mm.
She motivates me. She continues to make sure I take my breaks, but
Mm.
also I continue to build myself up and continue to do what we do. Everything I do is based on my family. You see my IG, my Facebook, everybody knows when they see me, they see my family. It's all my kids work for me. Even the baby. My 3-year-old, you cut to the office, he's handing you a business card. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, you trained him good." No, I didn't train him. He watched. And by watching me do the
Right.
walkthroughs of the office, handing him a business card, have a great day. That's exactly what he does to my customers love my son. Like they're
Mm.
like, "Oh my God, he's so cute." Like, "Hey, did you get a business card?" And he runs and grabs it and gives it to them. Like, so we're just showing and we're not teaching. I
Mm.
mean, we teach without teaching, if that makes sense,
By
right? Because they
illustration.
see what we do.
Right. You
Correct.
teach by doing it. They
Yeah,
kids are watching everything that you do. I don't care what you tell them not to do. You can tell them not to do it, but if you're doing it, eventually they're going to do it.
absolutely.
And whether that's good or bad, but they're going to soak it up and they're going to do exactly what you do. You made a mention about kids and biz, man. What is that all about?
So Kids and Biz is our new nonprofit we're going to launch. It's called Kids and Biz. We're going to teach kids 8 to 18 how to start their own business, right? I've learned that we need to teach them at a young age. I need kids to understand it's okay to fail, right? Because failure equals greatness. Most people don't understand that. You tell an adult that, what do? They get depressed, they quit, they want to go back to that 9 to 5. These kids, they're not going to do that. They're going to try harder. They're going to figure out a different solution for the problem. So, we want to expose them to entrepreneurship. Three things I'm going to do with Kids and Biz, right? One is I'm going to break generational curses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because all we do is push college.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is we push it the wrong way, right? Here's how you push. Most people, I ask my daughter, I'm like, what do you want to be when you grow up? She's like, a lawyer. I'm like, why? She goes, they make a lot of money. I'm like, wrong answer. You're going to hate your job in 20 years.
Right. Yeah.
It's not why we do it, right? Instead of being like, Dad, I keep watching the news and I'm tired of all these innocent people going to jail.
Mm.
I got to do something. So I'm going to be an attorney so that I can solve that problem. Going to college is just like business. What is the problem that you see in today's world that you want to solve? Whether it's engineering, doctors, lawyers, it doesn't matter. Treat it as a business because what happens is you're passionate about it now. And when you're passionate about it, money chases you because
Mm.
you're not doing it for money. Anybody who's doing it for money, you will outrun them all day long because your passion will outrun them, right? So we need to teach kids in a whole different light. Like, no, it's not about money. It's not about having to take care of your family. It's not about, That comes, but when you put it in perspective and put it the right way, you love what you do, right? So that's the generational curses I'm going to break. The second thing I'm going to do is save lives, right? I'm going to build a community of people who are different. The culture is going to be different. Bullying is all about being different. That's why you get bullied, right? So when you're getting bullied, it's because you're not like everybody else. So what that means, you had to conform to today's world. In entrepreneurship, you have to be different. You see what I'm saying? So now I get to create a bunch of kids who think different, who get to come together and create solutions that'll change this world. Then the third thing we're always going to do is impact the world. We're always going to teach them why we give back to our communities. One of the biggest things I do is we always give back to our community, right? So I'm going to teach kids how to give back, whether it's because you were abused, there was domestic violence in your house, there was drug and alcohol addiction in your house. These are the causes you believe in. You're going to give back to those, right? Eventually, we'll do mission trips where we go to third world countries so you can see what it's like to live in those worlds, right? Because they don't have it as good as we do.
Right.
So how can we help them, right? So Kids in Biz becomes a platform. Not only is business life skills, it's world skills.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this. Our mission is create a million kidpreneurs. If I had a million kidpreneurs today, you don't think I'd have a solution for COVID?
Listen.
We would, because they all think different. And as a
Right.
collective, we creating a solution that no one would have ever thought of. But these kids are naturally, they're creative,
Mm-hmm.
they're curious, right? They think outside the box. We as parents kill their dreams.
Right. Yeah.
We tell them, stop doing that, don't do that, it's weird. You have to allow your kid to express themselves. My son is an event host. At 8 years old, he started talking in front of 20,000 people. Most adults can't
I'm
do
about
that.
to say. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's doing MMA fights, award show, fashion shows. Why? Because we created an opportunity. Did we ever know that's what he wanted to do? No. But when we were like, let's do a fashion show for the kids, he's like, can I host it? I'm like, sure. In my mind, I think he's gonna game day. He's gonna want to quit because it's a lot of people.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he killed it. When I tell you he was roasting the judges, he was having a good time with it. Cool. He's like, Dad, can I actually do the show? I'm like, bro, this is your show.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I do is yours. This is yours. You want to host it? Let's host it. Killed it. And then because I'm a business person, right? I've built relationships because that's what business is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to pick up the phone and be like, yo, Jimmy, I know you got MMA fights.
Right. Right.
My son wants to host. What do you think? He's like, can he do it? I'm like, he says he can do it. Let's do it. He kills the MMA fight. You know, the Mount does the New Year's Eve thing. I call Kim. I'm like, Kim, and this is the New Year's Day, like right before New Year's Eve, right before the party. I'm like, Kim, you know my son's an event host, right? She goes, nah. She's like, send me his stuff real quick. Let me see what I can make happen. That night, he's on stage singing Vanilla Ice, like killing it, right? Because business is about relationships.
Right. Yeah.
My son wanted to do something. Now I'm going to push it to the limits, right? Until the day he's like, I don't want to do it no more. Then I'm the parent that's like, cool, no problem. What's next?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not the parent who's going to get mad because we invested all this time and money into you and now you don't want to do it. Because there was a lesson to be learned there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was, there's something he had to learn in that situation. The second he's like, let's do something else, let's do it.
Right. The Kids in Biz. How did that come about? I mean, was it based on a conversation? Were you asleep? Like,
Nah. So I've had that vision since 2008.
mm,
And, you know, I was always this is what I believe. I was always prophesied that I'm going to reach the masses, right? I'm going to preach to the masses. I believe this is how I'm supposed to do it through kids, right? So I plan on being in every city, every state, every country. This isn't a small time thing. This is something where I'm going to change the world with this. It's going to become a household name, right? So when we did our fashion show, that's really what the trigger was for me and my wife. We were like, "Oh my God, these kids came to us shy. They were like timid. We had sisters that wouldn't leave each other's side. But when it came game day, they owned that stage. They got together as kids and was like, let's pray before we go out on stage. There was no adults there. There was no one telling them that. They did it on their own. So we lost money at the event and we didn't even care because we got to see
right.
who they became, the power of the confidence, right? They were so confident. When I tell you they own that stage, like no one was there, they ripped that runway. And that's the day we were like, you know what? This is how we build up kids. And then now we had the office, so we got a meditation room where we teach kids how to meditate. We got our affirmation room, right? Because affirmations are huge. We need kids to be affirmed, right? We have a podcast studio room. We have photography studio room. We got our t-shirt room where they'll be able to make their own stuff. We got a board room, computer lab room. Like this is a prototype. This is way bigger than just this.
Mm.
But our kids are our future.
Right, right. And what did so and how did you go from being a businessman? And I probably we probably said but what was it or because everybody doesn't start off or end up this way. People start business, they make good money, they get comfortable, they buy all the cars they want. They get all the gold and jewelry and designer and everything and all of that. And then they leave some stuff for their kids and that's where it ends.
Right.
What is it? How is it with you and your family? What?
So for us, it isn't the material stuff, right? I don't care about the cars. I don't care
Mm,
about the fancy clothes, the name brand stuff. Like, I want my kids to learn, right? My kids, I want them to know what I didn't know. My daughter just turned 18, right? We could have bought her a used car, but why? That's what everybody does. I don't want to teach her that, right? Because if I buy a used car, I'm not going to be able to sleep good knowing she's out there and her car might break down, right? And someone told me, there was like, you don't buy what depreciates, you rent what depreciates. So now she leased her first car, right? So that we can turn around and buy a duplex because that duplex is going to make us money. So I'm going to rent this car because it depreciates and it loses money. But this duplex that she's going to buy is going to make her money. No one taught me this. I had to learn on my own. I listen to podcasts and all these other different things every day. So I'm just absorbing all this stuff and now I'm putting it into my kids. So after she does it, my next child does it, my next one, I got four. All of them are going to go through the same process. So I don't do anything for material stuff. I do it because I want to change the world, right?
mm,
I want to impact the world. Hampton Roads knows who I am. I've been doing this 16 years,
mm,
right?
mm,
I know if I left this world today, I left an impact in this world. In my community, people know who I am. If I left today, I'll be missed.
mm,
And my family will be taken care of because my customers just love us that much. Like they're like, yo, they will reach out to my wife and be like, what do you guys need? They will
mm.
reach out to my kids. That I believe. But I built a community. I'm not a regular printer that you just pick up, order, that's it. No, we build bonds and relationships and
Mm.
you know, most people don't even know my real name. They know me as Innovative Twist. There's a select few that know my real name.
Right,
But
right,
then
right,
there's,
right.
there's some people that we brought on and they're family now, and we do what we can. Does everybody last as family? No, but we
Mm.
did our job, right? I impact people the way they need to be impacted at that time.
What are some of the stories that you have as far as going from you in the Navy, got out of the Navy, started the print business. What are some of the give me a story that someone may not know, one that really sticks out and probably the one that you won't forget.
Hmm, I don't even know. It's been I've been doing it so long, bro. Like I would say for me, right, getting out the Navy, I'm thinking everything's gonna be easy.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna be smooth. I'm giving my life to my country, right? So I assume when I get out, everything's good, right? Well, it's not. And most people don't understand that. When you get out the military, they forget about you. Who are you? You're nobody anymore, right? So now you're stuck having to figure out how you're gonna survive. I
Right.
just had a baby, right? So what am I gonna do? I ended up working at a uh, call center. Ended up doing home health care stuff where I had to take care of disabled kids. Did that for a little bit. Um, what else did I do? Worked at Kinko's, and that's really where I started. Not because it's what I wanted to do. but that's where I just jumped in, and that's where it just led me to be who I am today. Um, but during that time, I mean, it's not easy. We don't make money like right off the bat.
Hmm.
Most businesses don't even last this long,
Right.
right? I broke the mold. I lasted, and I'm still going. Um, but most businesses fail. That whole scenario where it says in the first of
Hmm.
1 to 5 years, the biggest thing about that is most people just jump in as a hobby and they count
Hmm.
that as a business, right? So those numbers are a little off, but they do fail because they didn't do their homework. Some businesses just aren't needed in your market. You're just doing it because you were working for someone that was doing it. They look like they're making a lot of money, but you don't see the back end.
Hmm.
The back end is where all the headache is. Like, yeah, we make 6 figures, but you don't know how much money we got to put out a month.
Right. Right.
So you can count the money every time it comes in. You don't know what's going out.
I'm about to say, yeah, yeah,
You
and
know.
and, and
So
for
in life, it's just
for
good.
for those who are just tuning in, it's the Mind Your Business podcast. We got Mr. Innovator Twist on here with us today, just kind of talking about what he's been through, how he started, where he's going, what's next, and listen, he's been doing it. Listen, I'm probably gonna date myself. I remember I needed some flyers done. I think it was Martian. I think it was Martian Lab at the time. And I needed them. I needed them fast because I messed around. I don't know what it was, but and at one time you were even doing a deal. You could get your stuff printed. You have to go pick it up. And I think
Hmm.
I was in. I think I was in Hampton at the time. Went on, got the stuff printed up, and went over and picked it up at the airport. Had to get my flyers
Yep.
from the airport. Uh, and even at that time, to me, that was unheard of.
So the thing about people, right? This market is a weird market. People don't like to help each other,
Hmm.
right? I'm the total opposite. I had me and my wife were judging a cooking contest, and we had a customer. Well, he wasn't even a customer at the time. We're talking to a customer, and he just jumps in. He's like, "Hey, y'all do t-shirts?" We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Bro, I've been trying to find someone to teach me how to use my stuff. I even offered to pay. No one wants to do it." I'm like, "Bro, just come to the shop. We got you. Bring everything to the shop. We'll teach you everything you need to know. That's it." He's like, "How much?" I'm like, "Nothing."
I don't know. We just had some technical difficulties. Hey, Josh, your sound went out. I don't know if it's sound just went out.
Can you
Uh,
hear me?
yeah, there you go. Yep.
My AirPods went out for whatever reason. All right, what was
Okay.
the last thing you heard though?
You were talking about the guy that came to the shop. You kind of taught him
So he came to
everything.
the shop.
Hmm.
So we taught him, and in my mind, it's not. It's I'm teaching you because I never know when my stuff is gonna go down, and
Hey,
I need to call somebody to back me up, right?
right. Yeah.
So no, we don't need to change money. No, I think different. I want you to succeed. How many different breads are in the aisle? A lot. That doesn't stop you, right? Because your customers are going to be attracted to you because of your personality, the way you do business, and people are going to be attracted to me the way I do business and my personality. So there's always enough for everybody out here. People are just scared to share the information. There's nothing
Right.
to be scared of.
Yeah.
God gave me my vision. God told me how this is going to work. You don't know my vision. You don't know what I'm going to add. You do your thing. I'm going to do mine. At the end of the day, I don't care if we do the same thing. We're both going to
Hmm.
make money. We could be in the same room.
I think a lot of times people are afraid of. Well, it's a couple things. One is competition, but then two, and I'll be honest, and I've said this before on the podcast. I've been a dude that I've had trust issues for a long time. Just people in general. Uh, people that really know me know that I really don't deal with a lot of people. I don't. And so I think a lot of times, one, it's the competition piece, but then I think the other piece is the trust factor. Uh, with
So
you,
here's
and I think it may be how you look at, like, because you looked at it totally different.
here's the thing, right? The competition, yes. But without competition, who's pushing you further?
Hmm.
Right? That's the first thing.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Hello, I need you. You got to say that piece. Hold on, and I need you to say that again, man.
I said without competition, who's pushing you? It's okay to have competition. You can be my brother and we do the exact same thing. It's
Hmm.
okay. You can't take what I already built using my relationships. People trust me. People know I'm the man to go to if they need something last minute. I don't I don't hit you over the head. I'm not one of those people,
Hmm.
right? The second thing, trust. Here's the problem. Everybody wants something from everybody.
Hmm.
So put it out on the table when you first meet, and then you ain't got no trust issues.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what everybody's scared of.
yeah,
Stop
yeah.
hiding. Oh yeah, I want to work for you because I want to learn this because I know in the back of my mind I'm gonna open my own business. Cool.
Had that
Tell me that from the
conversation
beginning,
right off
so
top.
then exactly. And that's what people don't do. That's in everything. That's in relationships. That's in
Hmm.
business. That's in life. Period. Put it out on the table from the beginning, and you won't be sidetracked later when something happens. I literally taught. I had a lady. She worked for me, right? And I said, listen, I will teach you everything I know because you're moving to Baltimore. So because you're moving to Baltimore, I'm gonna teach you everything. I want you to be able to run a successful business like I did.
Hmm.
So look, you asked for a story. Here's one. So um, I literally teach them everything. I'm talking about everything. They're like, all right, we're getting ready to move. So she stops working for me. Cool. I'm happy for them. They're church folks. They're pastors. Guess what? They didn't leave. Guess what they did next? They tried to take my customers. So I could have been mad. I could have, but I didn't. I couldn't. You know why? Because my customers that were loyal to me called me and was like, hey, so and so just tried to take me as a customer.
Wow.
Okay. They knew where their loyalty stand. They
Right.
know I'm the guy that's gonna always take care of you. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because you need to see it. I can help you get there. Right. So that happens. Now they launch a website. Keep in mind, I did the logo for them and everything. They're still in business today, right? And I talked to them today. We go out to eat when they're in town. They call and wish my kids happy birthday. Let it go. One thing I did, here's another story, right? You can't hold on to things that don't serve you. For instance, it was December. I think it was December. It was November, December, right? We're the type of people where we help everybody and anybody. I'll create a position in my company just so that you can make sure you and your family's taken care of. Come December, and I'm like, why do I only have $100 in the bank? I'm like, what's going on? Am I gonna pay my bills next month? Then God told me, he's like, gotta let him go. I was like, huh? He's like, gotta let him go. I'm like, okay. So I let everybody go. Everybody. Because they weren't serving me. That was being used at this time now, right? That January, we did 50K, right? Because I was holding on to something that wasn't helping me grow. It was hindering my growth. So there's times in our life that we know what we're doing, the people we bring on are serving us. So you had to cut ties. And that wasn't even business. There were people who owed me money. And I was salty in the beginning. You could say hi, I'm gonna walk right past you like you never existed, right? But I learned. I was like, you know what? I forgive each and every one of you. I just deal with you different from this day forward.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these are pastors, bro. Pastors are my worst customers. You're a
Mm-hmm.
man of God and you don't pay your bills. So now I treat them just like a regular person. I take the church out of it and I treat you just like a person.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Care how long we've been doing business together. So you had to learn to let go of certain things that aren't serving you. The second you do that, you'll see yourself gone
Mm.
to where you wanted to be a long time ago. I could have been there, but because I was holding on to try to make sure that other people were good who didn't care if I were good, I wasn't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, that trust thing, put it out on the table. Put it on the table. Oh, I want you to be a speaker because, you got a big following.
Mm-hmm.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care about none of that. If I ask you to do something, I'll be honest. Like, nah, it's because I love your story. It's
Mm-hmm.
because I love this. I love that. People are so scared to talk about their stories and their past,
Right. Right.
but that's the emotional connection that ties you to your business,
Yeah.
right? There is power in the story. I don't need it. I don't need to teach you what I know. I
Mm.
just got to tell you my story, and I'm going to help you get past the point where you are right now. There's somebody that has to hear my story to be able to move to the next level because they're stuck, right? There's someone who could be doing exactly what I did, who literally was teaching someone everything they know because they were moving. But because they didn't let go like I did, they're still stuck. They're waiting for me to tell them what I did to get unstuck.
Right. How did you know? So you were in the Navy, got out the Navy, worked jobs here and there. How did you know that this is what you were supposed to be doing?
Because I'm still doing it. I never knew if this was for me,
Mm.
but all those different things that I was doing, none of them, I didn't see myself nowhere. I didn't see myself going anywhere. I was always a leader, right? I'm not a
Mm.
follower.
Mm.
So it's hard for me to be in a role where I can't take control, right? So when I got to Kinko's, it was cool. Third shift, I'm just learning. I'm
Mm.
meeting people. That's where I met Joe Stick and all these other people that have been around so long doing parties. And now I'm learning. I'm doing graphic design for them, not even knowing how to design. I'm just looking at a flyer I seen online and trying to recreate it, right? So we get there, then I go to Martian, doing sales, doing graphics over there. It's not working for me. I leave there. Then I'm doing sales for the League magazine. I sell the cover for 5 grand. I'm like, oh, this is easy. I like doing this, you
Mm.
know. And then ever since that, the problem was I'm a people person. So when I was at Martian Lab, everybody thought I was the owner, but I was just a salesperson, right? But I built a relationship. They would call, hey, can we get this? Can we get this? Yeah, I'll make it happen. No worries. That's my thing. I got you. I'll make it happen. Right. So I just continued to do that. So when I left, I'm like, yo, I'm no longer here. Everybody followed me that that I had a hand on. They were like, I'm with you. I love how you do things. I'm with you, you know. So I never really knew. I would say I really didn't know this is what I was supposed to do until hmm, when things started to shift. And then it became more about seeing other businesses succeed. That's when I knew this is exactly where I was supposed to be. So the money was good, but it wasn't for the money. It was the second that I knew I had to do that shift and change my mindset to understand that there's something bigger here.
Mm.
COVID hit and we did crazy discounts during COVID, like pretty much cost. And the other printers were mad. They're like, Josh, what are you doing? You're messing up the game. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, if I don't do this, these businesses aren't going to be here tomorrow.
Mm.
I'm trying to help them survive through the pandemic, just like I'm trying to survive. I'm not making money. Print's dead. No money's coming in on the print side, and I'm considered essential. So yeah, we're doing some restaurant stuff here and there, but when you're talking big numbers to next to nothing, you're like, whoa. And
Mm.
I've done this 16 years. It was an eye opener for me. It was like, am I doing the right thing? Like this is the only thing I've done. I didn't branch out to try to do other things. So no money's coming in, and these businesses are closing. So everybody's mad, and I'm like, guys, don't you understand? If they're not here, who are you going to print
I'm
for?
about to say, yeah, yeah.
Nobody. So I got to do what I can to make sure my community still can survive. Some of them lasted, some of them didn't. Heck, a couple more months, we probably wouldn't have,
Mm.
just because this is all we've been doing. But COVID has allowed us to take the break that we needed to build Kids in Biz. That's where, this was our COVID baby. We've had the idea since 2008. We just never moved on it because the print was so busy.
Right,
So
right.
we took this opportunity, got the building and gutted it. And me, my wife, and kids painted. We did everything in there ourselves. It gave us our own little getaway from being home with COVID and all that stuff to being able to build something and put our heart into it. You walk in
Mm.
there, you feel the energy that we poured into there. So those are people they just don't get it.
And
It's
that,
not always about money.
right, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people feel as though in business they feel like they are doing what they're called to do because they're making money. You know, checks is coming in, cash is coming in. I'm good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Uh,
The
and that's
problem is
what,
that's not it.
right, yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, for you, it was money was good, but you knew that wasn't it.
Right. My intentions shifted.
Mm,
Right. That's when things go south. Things go bad when your intentions shift. So you can be doing stuff in the beginning for good because
right.
you love what you're doing, but then you get money hungry.
Hmm.
Now you're definitely not gonna last, right? So my intentions shifted. It was never about money anytime because I give money away. Like I literally create positions for people who are in need when I don't need to,
Mm,
right? It shifted to understand that the more successful businesses that I can create, the more success I am. For me, success is watching all these businesses grow because I helped them grow.
mm,
That's success. Not having a million, 2 million, 5 million in the bank. I don't care about that. Being able to know that I had my hand on that business that is now worth $20 million, to know that I had a piece of that
mm.
because I kept pushing them. I kept helping them understand who their business was. That is what success looks like. Not the money, not the cars, not the clothes.
Right, right, right. And I guess with and it kind of goes to everybody's definition of success is different. And your definition
But
of
that's because of
success.
social media.
Oh, listen, that's
It's
a
because of social media. Social media makes it seem like the fancy cars. And listen,
right.
I had a friend and, I'm like, yo, you got to tell your story. And they're like, I can't. I don't have the house yet. I ain't got the car yet. I was like, what do you mean? You're successful because of what you just overcame.
Mm,
Your story is ready now. You don't have to have these fancy cars and houses to be able to say you're successful.
right.
Listen, some people can live off 100,000 a year.
Hmm.
Stop chasing a million. That million is literally the number that the world put out there to make you feel successful.
Hmm.
Some of us can literally live off 100 grand, 500. It really depends on what you want to do with your life. Where do you want to be? What does it take to be able to do what you want to do? Sometimes it don't take that much money.
In order for you guys to launch Kids in Biz, what what did it take? What does it take? Um, and you kind of said you because even the timing, this is something that you had a dream about and you dreamt it for years, but
Hmm.
eventually, the time was right. COVID, it was kind of like,
So God's always going to make sure there's time for what he wants us to do, right? So he made me sit out. He
mm,
was like, "All right, you can sit out on the sidelines. It's time to do what I asked you to do a long time ago."
mm,
The print piece was a part of Kids and Biz. I had to learn that because it's literally a piece of the Kids and Biz thing.
mm,
It's what my kids get out of that side. So, you know, when it came to Kids and Biz, COVID hit. We're not doing nothing. What are we gonna do? We went for this building before COVID. The lady was dragging her feet with our lease. I'm like, you know what? God's telling me it's not the time for this. So we're gonna hold off. We backed out. Then COVID hit. A month in, I'm like, babe, I think it's time. So we go back. Now I negotiate. Now I'm like, listen, I'll pay half the rent until the stay-at-home order is lifted. because you're not making money anyways. It's been vacant over a year, or well, a year, 2 years, however many years it was vacant. I'm willing to come in, but we're going to negotiate now. So they were cool. They were all for it. We get in there, and mind you, this building looked like a 1980s Wolf of Wall Street type building, like carpet, the tan walls, and wood plat panels, and I'm like, oh my god. So we get in there and we tear everything up. We went. I don't even think we had like a plan what every room was going to be. Everything just started coming to me. I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do here. We painted the walls. We did design on the walls. Never did it before. We just had fun with it, right? Everything was about fun. We're like, all right, kids need to know how to meditate. We had a room and it's got a skylight. I'm like, this is the room for the meditation. I was like, we need affirmations. We need to be able to, get these kids out of their head and tell them they're beautiful. Even when they don't feel like it, we need to tell them, right? So we're like, all right, we're going to create this affirmation room. Then there's the podcast studio. I'm like, how do we get their voices heard? What are we going to do? All right, let's create the podcast studio. All right, there's going to be research. We're going to need a computer lab room. Let's create this as a computer lab room. The conference room was already somewhat built out. So I'm like, all right, this is the boardroom for the kids. This is where we'll teach them. Then we had the other side. I got both sides, Innovative Twist side and Kids and Biz. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do on the Innovative Twist side? I'm like, you know what? Let's knock these walls down. Let's put the T-shirts here. Let's put the photography studio here. And I'm strategically going to put myself on the Kids and Biz side so that when customers come in, they're like, what is this?
Oh
You
yeah,
pick up all your prints from
yeah,
here. And what
yeah.
do? They're like, what is this? We tell them, they're like, oh my God, I wish I had this when I was a kid.
Mm.
From that point forward, we knew what we're doing was right. Now we get people who just randomly lost and show up in our building and they're like, hey, we have two kids. They created these ice pops for horse animals, for farm animals. So horses, pigs, like ice pops. And you're like, huh?
Yeah, you,
So,
you see my face, like I'm like, okay.
yeah. So they come in, they're like, we know you're not open, but are you willing to help a little bit? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. It's called Happy Pops. You can look it up, it's pretty dope. So we go over a little bit of things with them. They get their website launched. Now they're in a couple different more stores, and it's taken off. Now they're like really growing. But again, they're friends with high people. They're like, Josh, when you're ready, we want to put you in front of these people. One of my customers, the Homeschool Association, she's, president or vice president of Homeschool Association. She's like, Josh, let me know when you're ready. I want to get this in front of the parents to homeschool their kids.
Mm.
We had someone who homeschool and then the PTA, right? And like, hey, I want this, all the kids in. Everything was strategic. Everybody who came in there was like, this is exactly what we need.
Mm.
And I'm passionate about this.
Mm.
This is $1 billion company, guaranteed. I don't care about the money. You don't understand the lives that I get to save.
Right,
You don't get
right.
to, you don't understand the way I get to change the world.
Mm.
We get to use this platform for racism.
Mm.
We get to change it for, we get to use it for environmental issues.
Mm.
Why? Think about it. Racism isn't, it's taught.
Right, yeah.
These kids don't know what that is. If we can teach kids, most things stop at, most things are because of our parents and our
Mm.
great grandparents. It's just
Right.
passed down and passed down and passed down that you've never thought for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to start thinking for yourself, right? So we get to open our kids' minds to think for themselves. Yes, there was slavery,
Mm.
but look who you can become today. Look
Mm.
at that multi-millionaire who y'all said couldn't happen.
Mm.
Look at that. But your parents and your grandparents are saying, no, we can't have that. You can have that.
Right, yeah.
You can. We get to allow them to express themselves, be open, and have a free space to be able to speak, right? Because that's what they need.
Mm.
They don't need to be shut down. A lot of the things that we go through as adults is because we were shut down as kids.
Right, yeah.
It's the way you grew up. It's the way you've seen your parents live, and you think that that's the right way to do things, but in reality, that's not. It might not be. So they had to come to a place where it's nothing but love and we don't push anything on you. It's just literally, this is when you're around me, my wife, and my kids, it's nothing but love.
Mm.
And all my customers know that, right? They're like, "Oh my God, I love your family. They're just so happy. They're loving. They're like, that's what we post. It's what we are." And my wife never had a big blowout fight ever, ever. And people are like, "Really? Yeah, 12 years and never." Because we understand each other. We were meant to be, but we also talked about the past,
Mm.
right? So I know the triggers from things that could hurt you or upset you, and I avoid certain things that doesn't need to happen, right? And that's what these kids need. They need a safe place just to be able to talk. So the mental health, all that stuff.
So now is kids in business is it open and is it
No, not yet. So here's
ah
almost,
okay.
almost. And let me tell you why. It's only me, my wife, and my kids
Mm.
building this. So now print is starting to pick back up. So kids and biz going like this.
Right, right,
But
right,
now
right,
I'm
right.
like, okay, that getaway, I'm like, all right, every Monday, I'm on it. This
Yeah.
is Kids and Biz Day. I'm getting it done. I got the affirmation room to finish. And then after that, I'm building my own curriculum,
Mm.
right? Because that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
I've done research, right? Everybody's like, you can walk dogs, you can babysit, and you can cut grass. No, stop watering this stuff down. Business isn't, why are we watering this down? They can own a dog training facility, a landscaping
Mm.
company, uh, 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 what's it called? A daycare,
Mhm.
right? No, we're not watering this down. I'm literally gonna teach it like they're adults because
Mm.
that's how they need to learn it. So, I already have it's 12-month program. It's 12 months where they learn everything from intro to branding to marketing to sales to finance to communications. Like my kids will be making money before they graduate. And even after they graduate, they're never done with us. I don't care if they're 99, they can always come back for a refresher. We're never gonna let them go because that's what people do. They teach you and let
Right,
you
just
go,
gonna let you
and then
go.
you have to
Yeah.
figure it out on your own. What
Well,
what is that gonna solve?
so you got kids in biz. How about grown folks in biz?
It's coming. So here's the thing, right? So after kids in biz, it's adults in biz, felons in biz, veterans in biz, homeless in biz,
Nice,
right? But
nice.
but those four things won't last forever
Right, right.
because I'm teaching the kids,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The homeless project, for instance, right? I'm tired of the homeless stuff out here. All they do is put a band-aid on things, right? They
Mm-hmm.
feed you, they clothe you, and they shoot you. But what are
Mm-hmm.
you doing to get them out of this situation, right? So I give you a hand up. I'm not giving you a hand out. I'm giving you a hand up. I'm going to teach you how to run a business, right? What are you passionate about? You were passionate about something at one point in your life. What is it? How do we turn it into a business? You'll never be homeless again if I can create that business that you want, that you've always wanted. You'll never be homeless. I want the vets before they even become vets. I want you before you get out. Use the military. Use them. You got benefits while you're in there that you can use to build your business. So when you transition out, you're making more than when you was in.
Bro, you
I
need
didn't
to
have that.
listen, man. You need to run for office. Listen. You need to run for office, man, because a lot of this stuff needs to be implemented
It does.
in the cities, in the states.
And
Uh,
it's gonna. They're once they see this launch, bro, the cities are gonna be behind me. I guarantee it. Because they make money off these kids anyways
right.
because of
Yeah.
taxes. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
at the end of the day, these adults that come to me today don't even know business. They literally quit their jobs because they think they can do it better.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
missed the whole step.
Yeah.
You have to understand who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You have to understand the messages you're putting out there. You can't always do it for money. You can fire customers. People
Mm-hmm.
don't understand. You can fire them, right? But then you got them people who are desperate, right? They're in a situation where they have to take everything. Well,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? If you take everything, you're not giving your all to me because you're in a position of need. So
Right.
you're taking everything because you need it. You're really not giving me 100% because your mind isn't there. Your mind is, am I going to be able to pay this mortgage next month? How many
Mm-hmm.
sales can I do because I got to do this? Right? So you're not giving me 100. You have to make sure your mind's in it. Business is a lonely place. Entrepreneurship is lonely, it's depressing, and that's only because in this community there isn't no round table. There isn't a
Right.
mastermind that you
Yeah.
can get and we can collaborate. And me and Twan, we're talking about this. Me and Shad, we talked about this. Like I
Mm-hmm.
brought it up. I'm like, listen, this needs to happen. That's why I'm doing this conference. Listen, once this all launches, there's a bigger plan in play that I've been sitting on so long that we create a safe space. I want people to come and say, listen, this is where I'm struggling. And as a collective, all the entrepreneurs get together and we're like, listen, we got a solution for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
That's
good.
how we move forward.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
isn't anything about competition,
Right,
nothing.
right.
I don't care. I don't have any competition. I don't
Yeah,
have none. I'm the king of print. I've made myself that way. I
yeah,
became the asset.
yeah.
I became embedded in my community because I have a bigger picture in play. And
Right.
that's making sure my community thrives. I'm not from here. I'm from PA,
Mm.
right? But this is my home.
How
I've
about
been
yeah,
here since 2000,
yeah.
right? Right out of high school, I joined the Navy. This is my home.
And
This is
and
where I build relationships.
and that's the thing, man. I think the biggest thing is being able to create a community where one, where people feel safe, but then two, they can get the assistance, the help, the conversation, be able to have these conversations, but they're able to get what it is that they're needing. I think that's probably the biggest thing is uh, there's not really a community of people that are willing to invest in each other,
Hmm.
not want anything in return except to see you be successful.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. I get 100 people to put $100 in a pot. And every month, let's say I get 12 people and we all put 100, right? It's $1,200 for that person that week, that month.
Mm.
Next month, it's the next person. 1,200 could change something for somebody,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
right? We It's hard because of the trust issues, like you said.
Yeah.
Come out the gate telling me what you're looking for. I don't
Yeah.
care. Tell me out the gate. I'll be there to help you. I will guide you in the right direction. But I but some people aren't like me,
Right.
right? So you gotta know, like if I'm building something, it's because it's people who's just like me. And there's a
Yes.
bunch of us out there.
Right.
People just ain't moving on it. And
Yeah.
that's what we're moving towards right now. Like
Um,
this conference is coming. I'm telling you, it's the start of something huge because this isn't like what you've seen in this area.
yeah.
This is bigger than that. It's coming. Like
Man.
it's about to be crazy. But this is gonna jumpstart everything else that goes
I'm
with
about to
it.
say.
The
Yeah.
masterminds,
Yeah.
the education pieces, the listen, you it's almost like this, right? We're in a community, we're in a stage in this world where everything needs to be like this. Everything we want something fast,
Hmm.
right? How does this make sense? New York City, there's always a taxi, but you called an Uber and you're waiting for the Uber and and 10 taxis passed you, right? Because you thought
Hmm.
it was convenient.
Right. Right. Right.
I can literally give you the blueprint on how to make millions of dollars. That's what Tony Robbins does.
Mm.
ET, the hip hop preacher, Gary Vee, they gave you the blueprint.
Mm.
This generation is lazy.
Right.
You want it handed to you,
Yeah.
right? Sit back and do the work. If you don't do the same thing you do today, it's going to produce the same results
Right.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. At some point in your life, you have to start changing the way you're doing things because it's not working. If you feel like you're stuck in a certain place, you got to do something different.
Do something different. Yeah. Well, look, man. I listen. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming on, having this conversation, and we've got to get you back on, especially once everything launches, once this conference jumps off. But especially when the building is ready. I know some young people that could really use what it is that you're about to do. Shoot, why you playing? I know some
Bro,
old.
listen,
Look, I know some old people that need it. But that definitely, man,
listen,
them young people, man.
I went to a kid expo this weekend. The Bennett Center put one in at the Hampton Convention Center.
Mm,
And I was impressed by these kids, bro. But I had to break it down to them. There was this one girl, man. She could paint. I'm talking about she was dope.
mm,
But I had to break it down to her. I'm like, okay, you're selling it for this. But how many hours did that take you?
right.
Right? Oh, how much was that supplies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're only telling me that this is only worth $7 an hour?
Mm,
It's like, no, this is $25 an hour.
yeah.
And then the other thing people forget is put your profit in the price.
Mm,
Put your profit in the price. You want to make $25 off every single sale? Put it in the price. So if that painting took you 8 hours, 8 times 25 plus that $50 profit you want, plus your supplies is what you're charging. That's how you figure it out. Most people sell something and they're like, yeah, I made $100. Did you?
Right.
How much
Based on
that
your
t-shirt cost you?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much that
Yeah.
and then pricing, right? Pricing is what you believe you're worth, not what I believe you're worth,
Right.
not
Yeah.
what everybody else is selling is for. Your shirts can go for $50 because you believe in your brand.
Right.
You believe there's a powerful message in there that's worth that $50. Stop trying to price your stuff like everybody else. Just stop. These kids were amazing. And each of them, I'm dropping a magazine that goes with Kids in Biz called Inspired. Why? Because I want all the kids in every school in the country to be able to read this magazine and get inspired by these kids
Yeah.
going for something that they never even knew about. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, I draw, I paint, I do
Right.
this, I do that.
Right. And
You can make money.
I think that's the big thing is, and I'll be honest, because I'm a parent. I've got 5 kids, and and you kind of said this before. A lot of times, our kids may want to do something, and we might, the parent might be like, "Man, listen, you better go get a job. You better do this. You better do that." But now there's things that our kids can do that ultimately they could be very successful at. One, they love to do it, but it's just them learning the process and the parents being patient enough to teach them and willing to invest the time and the energy and the effort into guiding them in the direction that they really, at least that they think they would have gone.
Absolutely. And to understand that college isn't for everybody,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You want to keep pushing them to that, but they're not meant for that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They're just not meant for that.
Yeah.
80% of people who go to college don't even use their degree.
Their
They end up having
degree.
to work 2 jobs and
You,
pay off their debt and take care of their house. They don't ever get time with their family.
yeah.
This gives you time with your family. Who thought that noodle, the piece of foam that floats in the pool, was going to be $1 million business?
Yeah. Listen, man. My
There's
kid,
kids who think like this.
bro. Uh, we
So
got
whatever idea they have, we don't care. Just let them do it.
we got 2 noodles here at the house that my sons use. They beat each other up with, but it's like, yo, who? Just the fact that somebody created this and
And made
made it.
millions.
Oh my gosh, man.
Millions. Because they just thought different. You have to allow our kids to be creative.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
literally can be the dumbest thing in the world. Your job is to try to get them to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever you can do, help them figure it out. I don't care what it is. It could be the dumbest thing in the world because the dumbest thing in the world might be the $1 million thing that we've been waiting for.
I'm about yeah.
Just
Oh man.
expose them. That's all it takes is a little bit of exposure. And that's what we're building. I mean, if I told you the bigger plan, which I'm not going to because it's too big for me to put on here, I can't have nobody taking this idea. But everyone asks the question, how do we save these kids' lives? How do we stop them from shooting each other? I got it.
Mm,
Oh, I got it. And everybody I told about, they're like, oh my God, that's it. The key is exposure, bro.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There's kids that want to be rappers that don't even know how to get to a studio, where a studio is, or how much.
Right. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah. Yeah.
expose them to that and they'll stay off the streets.
Yeah.
They
Because
want to learn how to make their own dance.
they have an opportunity to do what it is that they love. And trust me, if they're doing
Right.
what they love to do, that's what they're going to spend all their time doing. Period.
That's right.
You ain't got to worry about them out here robbing at 3 in the morning because they in the studio trying to record. Or they sit at home writing. Or they
Exactly.
making beats. Or they doing,
Listen, when I
yeah,
tell you the bigger picture is what's going to change the world, it's going to change the world. I
yeah,
already know because that's what our youth need. You can't keep exposing them to what they see when they walk out that front door
right. They've got to
because that's what
see,
they feel.
yeah. They got to see different. They got to, I got a
It's,
story.
it's,
I got a story for you. So,
all right, remind me to tell you about the athletes
got
next. Go ahead.
so there was a kid, young guy, stayed in trouble all the time. Went to my church. One weekend we just went to DC. He's from downtown Newport News. Never been out of downtown Newport News. That's all he knew. Got him in the truck. Took a trip up to DC. We're driving by the White House. This dude was so excited to see the White House. He wanted us to pull over. He thought he could go to the White House, walk up to the White House, knock on the door,
And take a picture with the president.
and speak to the president. Because he had never been out of his environment.
Yep.
But to see the look on his face, the excitement, just being able to see that, and it changed his whole mindset. Yep. And sometimes, man, for kids, that's all they need, man, is just to get out of.
You just let him know you can be the next president.
Right.
This is how close I can bring you. But if you put your mind to it, you could be the one opening that door for some kid like you.
That's your house. All right.
That's it, right?
Story about
so,
athlete.
Athletes, right? These kids want to be rappers. They want to be athletes. Most athletes go broke because they didn't. They weren't taught business.
Right.
Listen, business is life skills, right? So I want athletes. I want these kids that want to be in the NFL, NBA, all that. You got to come to my program first so you don't blow your money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to treat money with respect and make money for you while you're doing what you do. You have a platform. But if you're blowing your money on jewelry, shoes, girls, all this other stuff, by the time you get out, you ain't got nothing to show for it.
Yeah. And don't get injured. Don't blow your knee, roll your ankle.
Exactly. Most people think that when you get that $1 million contract because of the draft, that you already made it.
Listen.
Did you know you had to still earn it all the ways until game day?
Yeah.
You don't get none of that. And they get cut before game day.
Look,
but they don't know that. They don't teach you that.
Right.
You just see the bright side of things. And that's what social media does and all this. Like, no, let's tell the truth. Let's show them the dirty inside of how things work.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. We've got to get you back on here, especially when everything launches. I've got some things. I got questions. I've got questions for you that we'll definitely.
Listen, that's the thing about me. I tell everybody, I'm accessible.
Listen,
I'm not one of them people you can call, you can email. Listen, weekends I might not answer because that's family time, but you can always call or text. Listen, 757-553-1111. I ain't even scared to put it out there, right? Because I know people have questions, and I tell everybody, pick up the phone. I don't care. If I don't know the answer, I'll find someone that does.
Yeah.
But I've been in the game 16 years. I know a lot.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Indeed.
You want to know something? I'm here to help you.
Oh, listen. Look, I'm calling, bro. But look, I appreciate you, man. I really do. We definitely need what you're doing here in this area. We need it, and we need it bad. Not only in this area, but definitely need it.
Whole world.
And keep doing it, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate your family. Tell your wife I said thank you for letting us borrow you for a little bit. And if you hold on for me just a minute, and
all right, cool.
All right. Once again, you guys, want to say first and foremost, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Shout out to my man Josh from Innovative Twist. You heard it. You heard the story. You heard the things that he's working on. You heard his heart, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you need some print stuff, man, you need to go holler at him. If not only because you know what type of person he is, and then once you get a hold of his work, man, that'll change it. That'll that's going to be a game changer for you anyway. But shout outs to him, man. He's really doing some really big things and things to change the community, and that's what it's really all about. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, tuning in. Once again, it's the Mind Your Business podcast, powered by Hanging with the Harrisons. It's your man JB with you once again. I appreciate you guys, and we'll do this again on Monday. Check out the page. Get the hoodies, get the sweatshirts. It's getting cold outside, man. It's getting cold. Not only to keep warm, but also to show support. Hopefully we're doing some things that are influencing you guys to do better, be better, see better, and that's what it's all about. Community, man. So appreciate you guys, and we'll do this again. Talk to you real soon.